All right, we're live with Clara Polito.
Hi, I'm Clara from Clara Cakes. Today my first cookbook comes out and I'm very excited to share with you one of my favorite recipes from this cookbook, which is the Samoa Cake. It's kind of my take on the Samoa Girl Scout cookie. So it's a fluffy coconut cake with toasted coconut and then a coconut caramel frosting with toasted coconuts also inside, and then drizzled with a chocolate sauce. So let's get started making it.
That sounds so delicious.
It's amazing. It's just perfectly sweet, and I love the caramel. So first I'm actually going to stir together the coconut milk that I actually used from a can. Just because that way it's always like the most fresh and it's not watery. And I'm actually adding in coconut vinegar.
What is coconut vinegar?
It's actually going to be our egg substitute for today. It's a lot like apple cider vinegar. And it kind of binds like an egg would. And it makes for a really fluffy, delicious cake. And I just love using coconut vinegar to complete the coconut cake.
Cool.
Okay, so I'm just going to give this a good whisk until it's kind of foamy. And totally combine.
Blue Res says hi.
Hello, thanks for joining in.
And there's also someone tuning in from Pakistan.
Wow, that's really cool. What time is it there? I always wonder, what's the time difference?
We'll have to Google that later.
So I'm actually going to set aside the coconut milk and the coconut vinegar so it can curdle together and really get combined. It's kind of like making a vegan buttermilk.
Cool.
So while that is curdling, I'm going to sift the all-purpose flour, and this is 2.5 cups flour, and this was actually a cup of coconut milk and then 1 tablespoon of coconut vinegar.
And for the people just tuning in, what are you making again?
Samoa cake, just like the Girl Scout cookies, but in cake version.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, so there is the 2.5 cups flour, and here is 2 tablespoons baking powder, and then 2 teaspoons baking soda and 1/2 teaspoon salt. And keep in mind I'm doubling this recipe so I can have a delicious 2-layer 9-inch cake and feed lots of people. So I'm just going to give this a good sift. And I
Shake it out, girl.
Yeah, look at that. And I like to sift these ingredients because it makes the cake lighter, and also the baking soda clumps get all thin and you don't have clumps in your cake, which you don't want. Okay, cool. So now that this is sifted, I'm going to whisk together the vegan butter, and I use Earth Balance. It works just like normal butter. And then melted coconut oil. And normally I use a stand mixer for this step, but today I'm just going to do it by hand. So that's why I really like to use both of these ingredients melted.
All right, come over here. Hold on. All right, girl, go.
So this is 1/2 cup Earth Balance vegan butter, and then 1/2 cup of coconut oil.
Someone just asked if baking powder and baking soda is the same or not. Can you?
Not the same.
That's enough.
So baking soda kind of makes everything spread apart, while baking powder kind of lifts everything up and makes it lighter and fluffier.
Good to know.
Yeah. So I like baking soda in cookies, baking powder in cake. And here is 2 cups of sugar. So I'm just going to stir that in.
Is that just regular sugar?
Yeah, just regular cane sugar. I like to use organic, so it's not bleached or anything.
It's your workout for the day?
Oh yeah.
What is your favorite?
All this upper body strength.
What is your favorite workout routine since you're baking all the time?
I think I really like to run because, then I'm not really focused on one thing, because with baking I'm always focused on just one particular step. But running I can just kind of do my thing and not worry so much.
Cool.
So I'm going to kind of mix this together till the sugar seems really incorporated into the oils. That way it's not grainy.
Familia's turning in from Puerto Rico.
How's it in Puerto Rico? That's cool. I've never been there before. Okay. So this looks pretty good. It looks like the sugar is pretty well incorporated into the oils. And now I'm going to add in 2 tablespoons of vanilla extract. And I love using a lot of vanilla extract because it really complements the coconut flavor of this cake. So this is almost like what you would do for a cookie dough. You want to get this kind of caramelly, sugar, butter, vanilla mixture going. So I'm just going to whisk this till the vanilla kind of colors this mixture. Okay, this looks perfect. So now, this is the exciting part. You get to put it all together.
All right, are we doing it over here?
Yeah, why not?
All right.
Okay, so since this is the biggest bowl that I have today, I'm gonna pour in the coconut and soy milk mixture with the coconut vinegar. Oh, and drop my whisk at the same time.
Sounds fun.
So if you're just tuning in, this is kind of the egg substitute. The coconut vinegar works perfectly with the coconut milk.
And what type of cake are we making again?
Samoa Cake.
Yes.
It's like my spin on the Girl Scout cookie. But people that have been watching are probably sick of me hearing that now.
No, were you ever a Girl Scout?
Was I ever a Girl Scout? No. So I think I was maybe envious in a way of never being a Girl Scout. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna make a Girl Scout cake.
All right.
And it's super delicious. And I like it instead of doing Thin Mint cookies or cupcakes because it's just a more unique flavor. So I'm just gonna grab my spatula and whisk or stir everything together. And I'm gonna do this until it's totally smooth. So just give it a whirl.
Tell us more about your cookbook.
Well, today's a really big day because it comes out, well, it just came out today. But it's all vegan recipes. I've been baking since I was 12. I'm 19 now. And so it's 7 years worth of memories and recipes and so many photos on every page. And it's a really unique cookbook. As soon as you open it, it's totally alive with colors and cool flowers and fonts.
And is it just recipes or like what else is in there?
Beyond recipes, there are dance playlists, baking playlists, because I like to combine the two. And then even some dessert haikus that my best friend wrote that are hilarious. I actually have one hanging up there that says, "Icing my haters, watch out when my timer sounds. I'm gonna take the cake."
That's hilarious. All right, back to the
All
batter.
right, back to the batter. So I think that this looks pretty good. You don't want to overmix it because then your cake will become a little too gooey and not fluffy.
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm actually going to fold in 2 cups of toasted coconut.
All right.
And I like to toast it because it's really, it's more like a genuine Samoa cookie with the toasted coconut. And I just think that when you toast it, the flavor comes out a lot more. So I'm just going to fold it in a little. And it's crazy, as soon as you stir it in, suddenly the batter like comes alive and it just gets even more fluffy. Like all these ingredients are just meant to be together in this delicious coconut cake. Alright. And now, my oven's preheated to 300.
Oh no, runaway whisk.
That was sad.
That was sad.
Anybody can bake. If I can do it, you can do it. So my oven's preheated to 350 degrees, and I already have these cake pans lined with parchment paper, and then oil and flour so that they don't stick to the pan when I take them out of the oven and out of the pans. So I'm just gonna pour these in evenly.
Back to the arm workout.
Yep. Thank God I'm really strong and tough, you know. This kitchen has made me a really tough gal. Alright. There we go. This is kind of like my breakfast, to be honest, because here in LA it's about 11 o'clock, and I'm actually pretty excited that this is going to be my first complete meal of the day.
So I've seen some people like tap the bottom of the cake pan to get the air bubbles out. Do you do that too?
I kind of do that, but I like to even it out with this.
Got it.
There aren't any air bubbles in this guy, really. So let's pop them in the oven. And then I like to bake these for about 25 minutes or until they're nice and golden brown. And you always want to make sure that you stick a knife or a toothpick in the center so that you know if the batter is still coming out, then it needs more time. But if it isn't, then they're ready to come out. Okay, so now we're gonna make the frosting. And the frosting is coconut milk based with brown sugar. And so I'm gonna start.
Should we follow you over there?
Sure.
Or are you gonna do it over here?
I'm gonna do it over here.
All right.
So I'm gonna pour the coconut milk. And you can heat it before or not. I figure you just kind of heat up the coconut milk in the pot while the heat's on. And then, so this was 1 cup coconut milk and then 2 cups brown sugar. I'm gonna grab a handy dandy spatula. And then just give it a good stir till both of the ingredients are combined. And then you're gonna let this mixture kind of boil on its own for a little while till it thickens. So it's a lot like making caramel, where you keep it under a medium heat till it becomes nice and thick and delicious.
So where did you think, like, how did you think of this recipe?
I think I was just kind of inspired, honestly, by Girl Scout cookies, and I kind of like it because it's like German chocolate cake in a way, but a vanilla version, and there are no walnuts, and I'm like, I do like walnuts, but if I could have a coconut caramel glaze with more coconut than walnuts, that's what I would choose. So I kind of made like a vanilla version of German chocolate cake. Yeah, and it's also Girl Scout season right now, so it's really fun to make them in spirit of the Girl Scout.
And when did you start baking?
I started baking when I was 12,
That's
so 7 years
young.
ago.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, so while this is cooking, I'm going to stir together the soy milk and cornstarch mixture, and that will eventually go into the brown sugar. And that helps thicken it and almost create like a pudding-like texture. So that's the base of the frosting. So I'm just going to grab that.
Take a peek in here. Oh, it's starting to get dark.
Yeah. I love the dark amber color it makes. Okay, so here is 2 cups soy milk and then 6 tablespoons cornstarch and half a teaspoon of salt. So I'm going to grab a little fork. So you don't always have to have a whisk on hand. A fork works just right. Just going to get all the cornstarch in.
And then one more time for the people just tuning.
So it's a toasted coconut cake layer, and then with the coconut caramel frosting with more toasted coconut, and then a chocolate crunch to cake, which is sometimes unusual, but I find it super delicious.
Breakfast of champions.
Yes, absolutely. So you just want to mix together the soy milk and cornstarch until the cornstarch clumps kind of go away. That way you don't have like grainy cornstarch in your frosting, because who wants that? Not me. Okay. So I'm actually going to do a little multitasking. While this brown sugar and coconut milk is kind of thickening up on its own with this heat, I'm going to pop in coconut flakes, and I'm going to grab that.
Oh, she's back.
Here we go, and I'm back. So, I like to pop that in for about 3 minutes. Just keep your eyes peeled because coconut flakes can burn really fast.
Alex says hola.
Hey, what's up? Okay, so that's in there. this is cooking. So I'm just waiting for this to really boil together. And you'll notice when it starts to get more caramel-like. And as soon as it is kind of a caramel, you want to stir in the soy milk and cornstarch.
So tell us more about Clara Cakes, which is your business.
Clara Cakes started basically out of love for my baking and my hobby, and I became vegan and couldn't find delicious desserts anywhere. So it was kind of out of necessity in a way. And then I started selling at different music shows and art shows and found my customers through that, and then started selling to a couple different shops.
Cool. So where do you sell to in LA?
In LA, I sell at Pizzanista, Osla Vegan, and Cruiser Pizza. So those are all downtown in Los Feliz. Yeah.
And then we've got a viewer asking if they can add honey to this recipe at all.
I guess if you're subbing sugar for honey, I don't use honey. I would use agave instead, but that's just me. But that's the cool thing about this cookbook. You can take it and make it your own and, infuse different flavors you like. Like in this cake, you could add nuts to it if you want. You could even do this in cupcake form if you're kind of crunched for time, because cakes do take a while to make. Ooh. Okay, so this has a nice boil going. And this is always exciting because when sugar and coconut milk start to boil like this, you know that the thickening is coming. And it's just like a big old science experiment. Right. And then I'm going to do some even more multitasking. I'm going to make the chocolate drizzle right now because you might as well just use up your stove while you can, not be in the heat too long. So here is a 1/4 cup of soy milk. And I'm going to put that on low heat. Okay, and it looks like this guy is totally thickening up. So I'm going to lower the heat. And this is on the caramel sauce.
It smells so good.
I know. Oh my god. I wish you guys could smell it. I wish there was like a smellogram. I think pretty soon. I remember somebody commented on one of my photos saying that they wish there was a scratch and sniff feature on Instagram. And I think that's absolutely brilliant.
Your next business.
Yeah, I know, huh? Yeah, if anybody wants to invest in that idea, I think it's a multi-billion-dollar idea. Okay, so this is just getting there. And then this is, again, to remind you, the soy milk for the chocolate drizzle. And I'm going to cook this until it just starts to boil. And then afterwards, I'm going to stir in the chocolate chips. And that is a cup of bittersweet or semi-sweet chocolate chips. And I prefer the vegan brand because I bake everything vegan. Okay, so I'm going to stir the soy milk and cornstarch mixture into the caramel mixture. I'm just going to get this one more whisk. Because sometimes the cornstarch gathers at the bottom, so you just want to make sure that you get it all. There we go. And it shouldn't take too long to thicken, but maybe give it like 3 or 4 minutes. And then you know it's done when it kind of looks like pudding in a way. Maybe a little less thick than pudding, but just about.